per Aeneas sic fatus ab alto. Inde taro. Hello? Hello?
Where is she?
Who?
You know who, your aunt or whatever she calls herself.
Oh, if you mean Miss Marilla Cuthbert, she's not my aunt.
I don't care what she is. Just fetch her, that's all.
I'm afraid I can't.
Now, you listen to me. I ain't taking no cheek from any of you red-headed snippet of a girl, so you can put down your yellow-covered novel and go and do what I tell you. Because I am not budging from here.
Miss Cuthbert is not here.
What do you mean she's not here?
She's gone to East Grafton. And this isn't a novel, it's Virgil's Aeneid, if you want to know. And I'd rather have red hair than none at all, except a little fringe around my ears.
Just who do you think you're talking to?
Well, I don't know who I'm talking to. You come here banging gates and shouting. I've never seen you before in my life.
Her name is Harrison, Miss J.A. Harrison.
Oh.
You may well say, oh.
You bought Mr. Bell's farm while I was away at Queen's. Well, I couldn't have known that by sheer clairvoyance, could I? However, if you'd care to explain what the trouble is...
It's that Jersey cow of your aunt's. She's been in my hayfield again. Now, I warned your aunt about her on Tuesday, and it happened again today.
If it's a Jersey, then it's Dolly, and she's my cow. Matthew gave her to me when she was born. I'm very sorry, Mr. Harris.
Oh, sorry ain't gonna help matters any. You can look at the havoc that animal caused in my hayfield. She's trampled it from center to circumference, miss.
I am sorry, Mr.
Never mind
Harris.
about being sorry. What you gonna do?
I promise to keep an eye on her in future. And meanwhile, I suggest that you strengthen your fence between your pasture and our hayfield.
What?
Well, I noticed last week that it wasn't in very good condition.
Nothing wrong with my fence. There's a demon cow. Take a brick wall to keep her out. Now, I'm not standing for it, and that's flat.
I know, and I have said I'm sorry. And it won't happen again. You have my word of honor. So I don't see you've got anything to gain by shouting anymore. Do you? Well, I'm sorry, Dolly, but it can't be helped. And there was J.A. Harrison, all red in the face. Mrs. Lynde says he's a crank. Well, for once in her life, she's only got half the information.
For pity's sake, Anne, give me a chance to get my cloak off.
Oh.
Oh.
You do look worn out. Sit down. The kettle's boiling.
Terrible roads they got over in Grafton. Shakes you to pieces driving over them.
What did the eye specialist say, Marilla?
No change at all since last time. He was real pleased, Anne.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He reckons chances are my eyes won't get any worse than they are right now. And if they don't, I was figuring I can shift well enough for myself. You don't need to be tied here after all just because of me.
Fiddlesticks. Where else would I want to go?
You'll be starting teaching in a few weeks. And if you save what you earn and I put some by to go with it, you just might get to college in a year or two.
Oh, Marilla.
But don't count on it. And don't tell anybody about it, in case it doesn't work out. But I was figuring that the way...
Oh, no. There he is again. He must have seen you come back. Well, I'm ready for him this time.
Now, Anne.
No!
And Shirley, whatever do you mean pouncing out in the body like that? Saints alive, you startled all the breath out of me. See you got back all right, Marilla.
I'm here, Rachel.
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Lynde.
I've got news for you, Anne.
Oh.
Anthony Pye's back.
Who's Anthony Pye?
You wouldn't remember him, Anne. He was born about 2 years after Gertie.
18 months to be exact, Marilla. His poor mother was so worn out, she swore she couldn't cope with raising another, so a sister came over from Nova Scotia and took him.
Why is he coming back?
He's got completely out of hand, that's why. Thank you. He'll be in your class, Anne. You'll have the job of trying to teach him.
Too old for school now, surely.
His birthday fell off when he's got to stay on another term. I wouldn't like to be in Anne's shoes, that's a fact. If his Uncle Seth couldn't put the fear of God into him, how's Anne going to do it?
I'm not planning to put fear into my pupils, Mrs. Lynde. Only knowledge.
You've got to make them sit still long enough to put it into them, haven't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't take that off if I were you, Rachel. We'll be moving out to the veranda soon.
Whatever for?
The young folks are having a meeting in the house in half an hour, and they won't want you and me gawking at them.
Oh, yes, still at it, are they? Setting the world to rights.
Don't you approve of the Village Improvement Society, Mrs. Lind?
Depends what you're setting and proving. If it's the people, I reckon you're going to have your job cut out.
I dare say we will. But who was it who said it's better to light even a little candle than sit alone and curse the darkness?
Village Improvement. Folks are just laughing at them. Lawrence McPherson says, are they expecting him to hang lace curtains in the windows of his cow shed? Suppose Gilbert Blythe's in this so-called society.
Gilbert's chairman and secretary.
Ah, thought as much.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, Anne's setting a cap at Gilbert, isn't she?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Why, it's common knowledge, Marilla. And I'm not surprised you encourage him here. You used to have a soft spot for his father, didn't you?
The first bit of improvement needed in this village is for folks to start minding their own business.
There's no call to fly off the handle, Marilla. Anne could do a lot worse than Gilbert Blythe. You've only got to see the spoony way she looks at him to see what's up.
Spoony, indeed. Good heavens above, I've seen her look like that at a bunch of violets. You don't understand that girl, Rachel, and you never will.
I won't argue, Marilla. But there's other sweet on Gilbert besides Anne. Ruby Gillis, for one.
Ruby Gillis.
Well, she doesn't have to be told the difference between a young man and a bunch of violets.
Shh.
Spoony.
It'd be easier for me, really, if they held it on Thursdays.
But we tried that, didn't we? And then Diana couldn't come.
Perhaps I could drop by on Sunday after church and have a look at it.
Oh, I wish you would, Fred. She'd be ever so pleased.
Hi, everybody. Oh, hi. Evening, Anne.
Hello, Ruby.
Oh, I'd been in such a rush, I felt sure I was going to be late. And then just when I got to the crossroads, I happened to meet Gilbert.
Oh, yes? Shall I take that?
Oh, thanks. So then, of course, I knew it was all right. Well, I said to him, didn't I, Gilbert? I said, well, anyway, they can't start without you.
That's true.
Hi.
Hello.
Anything wrong?
No, of course not. What should be wrong?
I saw J.A. Harrison chasing your jersey out of his hayfield this afternoon.
Not much you miss, is there, Rachel?
Did he make much of a rumpus?
We gave Anne a piece of his mind.
What can you expect? He comes from New Brunswick. Remember Timothy Cotton? He was a New Brunswick man.
He had consumption.
When he wasn't stealing. His wife was so lazy she used to wash her dishes sitting down. Talking of Harrison, has anybody had a look inside that house yet?
Not that I know of.
It's very peculiar. They say he won't let a woman near the place. What's he hiding, Marilla? He could be burying dead bodies under the flagstones for all we know.
Not unless he brought them with him. Nobody round here's been missed.
I still think somebody should have a look inside there. I've a good mind to do it myself.
How are you going to do that if he won't let anyone in?
There are ways, Marilla. There are ways.
Well, I think we should make a real effort to get it done before the winter.
Yeah, but where's the money coming from?
Well, we'll have to collect it.
Wouldn't it be better to start with something we can do ourselves? Well, I mean, if the first thing we do is go around begging.
Oh, but it isn't begging. Well, it'll be a symbol. How can a village take a pride in itself when its village hall is so shabby and run down?
Oh, it's not that
Think of the
terrible.
effect it'll have on people to see it rising up like a phoenix with new shingles and lovely gleaming paint all over it.
She's off again.
People would look at it then and say, that's ours. That stands for Avonlea. Well, it would inspire a new community spirit.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know that I pitch it quite that high. Still, if something isn't done soon to keep the damp out, it's going to deteriorate pretty fast. It's in their own interest. The longer the taxpayers put it off, the more it'll cost them.
Put it that way, yes, we might convince them. All right, then, I propose we go ahead.
Seconder?
All right.
All in favor?
As far as collecting the money, I suggest we hunt in pairs.
Oh, Anne and I can do Newbridge.
Oh, good, I'll do White Sands with Fred.
Oh, no, I'll do that with you, Gilbert. Well, my aunt lives in White Sands.
Oh, this is a day left over from Eden, is it not, Diana? And just smell the scent of those fir trees. Heaven.
Lovely. If it keeps dry, I'm going to collect some of the fir needles and fill a cushion with them.
Look! There's the little dell where Hester Gray used to live. Remember telling me about her?
How she died so young. And her grief-stricken husband carried her out into the garden so she could die among the roses.
I remember. It was the same day I fell headfirst into the rain barrel.
I believe her husband's spirit is hovering there this very minute over the garden where he buried his beautiful young bride.
No, Anne, it can't be. Oh, Diana, you just have no imagination. How can you possibly be sure that it can't be? Because he sold up and moved to Boston. He keeps a butcher shop there. Oh. Oh, no! Whoa! Come on out of there! What's the matter? That stupid, pig-headed cow. What cow? Dolly, she's in Harrison's hayfield again. Oh, and after all that rain, it's soaking. Oh, come on, Diana, help me. Oh, but your dress, it'll be ruined. I gave my word of honor. Now run and head her off, quick. Oh,
Mr. Harrison? Ah! Mr. Harrison, I know you're there. Mr. Harrison? Mr. Harrison, on behalf of the folks of Avonlea, I'd like to welcome you to our midst.
Thank you.
No, wait. I'd like a word with you if you can spare a few minutes. Well, a bit chilly standing around outside, don't you find?
Oh.
Just the same, Mr. Harrison, if you don't mind, I think I'd find it more convenient to discuss this matter indoors.
You might. I wouldn't.
Am I to understand you're denying me entry?
Yep. What you come here for, eh?
Collecting on behalf of the Missionary Society.
What's it for?
For converting the heathen, of course.
Well, you go back and tell him that the worst heathen I ever knowed is some of the interfering, old gossipy, nosy, pockering females living round these parts.
Oh!
You start up a fund for Christianizing them, and I'll gift you like a shot.
Hello, Mr. Shearer.
I guess you better have sold me that cow when I wanted to buy her last week.
I'll sell it to you now. You can take her right away if you still want her.
Done. I'll give you $20 for her, as I offered before. Got a bar over in Carmody. I'm heading that way right now.
Oh, well. Thank you, Mr. Shearer. I hope you catch her all right.
Oh, don't worry. I will.
What did Marilla say?
Oh, she won't care. Dolly was my own cow. How she got out of that pen, I'll never know.
I think she must be related to the cow that jumped over the moon.
Diana, sometimes you do have imagination. Marilla. What's happening?
Oh, nothing. I'm just sorting out a few old things to give away.
Matthews.
It's a Sunday suit. There's years of wear left in it yet. It would be wicked not to give someone the benefit.
Yes, he'd like that.
As I was going through the pockets, I came upon a receipt. It was for that brooch he bought you on your last birthday.
Oh, Marilla.
Went in all by himself and bought it. He was so proud, Anne, when he saw how much you liked it.
Yes, I remember.
People talk about widows. Funny. There's no name like that for losing your brother. Yet with a husband, chances are you've only had him half your life. Matthew and I had never been separated more than a week from the day I was born.
I went to see his grave yesterday. You know that rose tree I planted? Well, it's got 3 little buds on it now.
Yes, well, that'll do someone a bit of good. What took you so long?
Oh, Marilla. Dolly got loose again in Harrison's hayfield, and Diana and I just couldn't catch her, so I sold her to Mr. Shearer for $20. Is that all right?
Seems a fair enough price. She wouldn't have brought any more at an auction.
Especially if the word got round that she could jump over 4-foot barn doors.
Fiddlesticks. You couldn't have shut her in properly.
Oh, I did, Marilla. You don't believe me, do you?
I believe you meant to. I believe you think you did.
Well, you just come and see.
Oh, Ann.
Come on.
Ann.
You see?
Mighty queer.
Well, it proves what I said. She was a highly athletic beast.
You sure she was inside when you bolted her?
Marilla, why do you keep talking to me as if I'm stupid or absent-minded or something? She was definitely in there, calmly chewing the cud right in this corner. Oh, no.
What's the trouble? Oh, mercy.
Marilla, who else around here keeps jerseys?
I did hear tell that Mr. Harrison brought one with him.
Then I've gone and sold it. Now I know just how people feel when they're on their way to an execution.
It's her again. Don't! Look!
Mary?
Marilla? Oh, Marilla.
Hey, hush now, lie down.
Marilla.
I brought you some calf's foot jelly and a little bottle of raspberry wine. This pie is for the children. Why are you on your own? Where's Mrs. Murdoch?
She's gone to market.
I see. I'll take those sheets when I go and bring them back clean next week.
No.
Why not? There's no trouble I can do.
Next week's too late.
What did you say?
Too late next week. I know. Marilla. Marilla.
Yes.
Davy and Dora.
Please lie back.
Well, what'll become of them? Nobody's come near me from my side of the family. Nothing since Harry died, not even now.
It's a busy time of year.
No, it's not that. They don't care. Oh, Marilla. Davy and Dora. You take 'em, please. You were Harry's cousin.
Second cousin Mary, but that's neither here nor there. If I were a young woman, it would be different.
You've got that girl.
I don't think it would be fair to count on that, Mary. Anne has her own life to live.
She's lucky. It's more than some of us have got. Oh, please, Marilla. Please.
Well, I'd have to think about it. I'd have to talk to Anne. Why don't you write to John? He's your own brother. He's the one that should take them.
I did.
You'll have to read it to me.
Dear Mary, I got your letter. I'm sorry to hear that you are sick.
Whoever it is, I don't want any. Go away!
Anyway, I tried. I'm trying to save you some time.
Oh, it's you.
I'm afraid it is.
Trying to what, you say?
Well, the most terrible thing has happened, and I know that as soon as you find out about it, you're going to come round to our house and give me a row, so, well, I thought I'd come and tell you first. Well, it would save your journey.
What you got in the bag there?
This. It's a walnut cake. I wish you hadn't asked me that, because I was going to give it to you when the worst part was over, and, Now you've made it look just like a bride.
Well, you can come in if you like.
I don't know. Well, perhaps I had better, because what I'm going to say might take a little explaining.
I'm a bit untidy today, and John Henry's busy down bottom field. Can I take that?
Oh.
Yeah, sit down.
Where?
Huh? Oh, make myself a new hen coop. I haven't got gnawed right through. Oh, as I live and breathe. Pink icing.
Uh-huh.
Hey.
Oh, wait!
Oh, that wouldn't have hurt none bit of sawdust. Walnut, eh?
Uh-huh.
Don't you go away. I'll get a knife.
It's not ginger, it's auburn.
Oh, excuse me. I warned you before.
Who's he talking to? Who's Ginger?
Why, that's his name. Well, I never gave it him.
Well, he's green.
Yeah. He's, very bad-tempered, though. Maybe that's why.
Shall I cut it?
If you like. Ah, what's this you've been gone done?
Oh, you remember my cow Dolly?
She gotten in my field again?
No, she didn't.
She didn't? Oh, what then?
It was your cow that got into the field. Which does go to prove what I said about the fence. But the terrible thing I did was, Oh, taste it, Mr. Harrison. I do hope you like it. I made it myself. Mr. Harrison, I sold your cow. I thought it was Dolly, and I sold her to Mr. Shearer for $20, and I'm very, very sorry. But you can either have Dolly, or you can have the $20 instead. Well, what do you think?
Never tasted better.
No, Mr. Harrison, I mean about me selling your cow.
Oh, I'll take the jersey if you want to be rid of her. Yeah, cup of tea go nice with this. You gonna have one? Oh, all right, don't then. I mean, all same to me. You in such a hurry, you clear off.
No, it isn't that. It's, Do you, mind if I make it myself?
Huh? Women. Always fussing about something.
That's just for the 2 areas. The 3 more we haven't touched yet.
That's fantastic.
Besides actual cash, the minister's promised to give something. And Diana's written to her aunt in Charlottetown.
Oh, she'll always give to anything in Avonlea.
Oh, and Mr. Murdoch says when we buy the stove, he can get it at cost price and he'll fit it free of charge.
Oh, that's a very good start. Right, well, if you're all sure about which areas you're covering, I think that's about as far as we can go tonight. Date our next meeting, Mr. Chairman? Yes, when?
Well, if we let him for a fortnight...
Oh,
no, not a fortnight. Oh, no, we must meet regularly or... Well, people will lose interest.
Yeah.
I propose a week tonight.
Seconded.
All agreed? Aye. Week tonight. Oh, if you want to ride back, you better come now. I can't hang about.
Well,
Oh, please yourself, but I'll be passing your door. Save your walk.
Oh, all right. Good night.
Good night.
Are you coming, Diana?
Oh, yes. Night, night, night.
Night.
Good night.
Well, you didn't have very much to say for yourself tonight.
Perhaps she's worrying about next week, are you, Ann? Starting school.
Don't tell me you're nervous.
Oh, it's all very well for you two to smile. You'll both be in schools where nobody knows you. Here, they'll be remembering the scrapes I used to get into.
Anne, by the way, Anthony Pye'll be in your class.
Yes, I know.
Been warned, have you?
I have been informed.
By Mrs. Lynde, I'll wager.
She does save you money, though. 10 minutes with her every day, and you don't need to buy a newspaper.
Well, don't worry, Anne. You just start as you mean to go on. Tell the little devils what to do, and if they don't do it, well, there's always the cane.
Oh, but you wouldn't use it, though.
I certainly would.
Oh, I don't believe in that at all. No, the thing is to make them like you so much that they want to behave.
And if they don't?
Well, I don't care what you say. I think beating children is cruel and barbarous, and if you can't keep order without it, then you've got no right to be in a school.
Yeah, but just one child with a devil in him can hold up the whole class, and you have to stop him. Don't you, Gilbert?
Oh, I agree with Anne that wherever it's humanly possible, it's much better not to use the cane.
You see?
On the other hand, you can get the kind of situation where it can't always be avoided.
Oh, poor Gilbert. Just trying to be tactful, and now you've mildly offended both of us. Good night.
Good night. I haven't, have I? Mortally offended you?
I think that's a very strange thing for you to say. As far as I know, I've been perfectly friendly and amiable, just like the others.
You've been friendly, yes. But a little while ago, just after Matthew died, I thought you see...
Gilbert, I don't know what you're going to say, but don't say it. I happened to overhear Mrs. Lynde saying how she thought I seemed, and I must say I resented it very much.
Why? What did she say?
Oh, I've no intention of telling you. It was far too stupid. No, I just want to make it perfectly clear to you and Ruby Gillis and anybody else who might be thinking about me that you're all entirely mistaken. I hope I've made myself clear. Good night, Gilbert. Why, Marilla, don't you want the light on? How long have you been back?
Can't rightly say. I've been thinking.
How is Mrs. Keith?
She's dying.
Dying?
I'm worried, Anne. I don't know what to do for the best.
What about?
She wants me to take the children.
Well, didn't you say she had someone?
A brother. He's in British Columbia in a lumber camp till next spring.
Oh, well, they can't go to a lumber camp. They could come here until he sends for them.
What if we took them and he never did send? That'd mean your future down the drain again.
Why?
Well, use your head, Anne. 2 more mouths to feed. Take every penny I've got. Besides, I couldn't cope with them on my own. All that sewing and mending.
I'll do the sewing.
You hate sewing?
Besides, as for going to college, I never really thought that was going to happen. It might even be fun.
That young boy's a caution by all accounts. It'll mean a lot of hard work. Of course, the Sprots might take them.
Sprots?
Neighbors.
Well, didn't you say he was the one that gets drunk? And the boy got running for stealing? Oh, Marilla, they can't go there.
What if anything happened to me? They might be left on your hands then, and they're nothing at all to you.
Yes, they are. They'll be orphans. Just like I was. Well, it would be like passing on a little bit of the luck I had when I came here to you and Matthew.
I'll send word to Mary first thing in the morning.
I'm hungry. So am I. Ain't we ever going to get to eat?
You'll eat when we get to Green Gables.
There she is, coming back from the funeral. She's got the same black cape she wore for Matthews, and she'd had it 15 years then. Yeah, she's got them. 2 of them this time. She's gone and done it again.
How are they?
All right, come on in. Where's your hanky gone now? We'll use it then.
Hello, Dora.
Hi. Hey, you ain't half sweating. Can I take this off now?
Hello, Davy.
Hello. Is that for us? Come on, Dora.
Davy, go and wash your hands first.
But I washed them this morning.
We'll wash them again.
Why?
Because you've had a long, dusty ride, Davy, and some of the dirt might get on the food.
I don't mind.
Davy, go and wash.
I haven't got to.
Oh, yes, you have.
Why?
Because if you don't get your hands clean, you don't get anything to eat.
All right. I'll wash them.
There's the towel and the pump's just outside.
I've done it this time, Anne.
Oh, it'll be all right. You'll see.
A bit off more than I could chew, as Rachel would say. I saw her peeking through the window on the way over to see what they were like.
Well, you never told her you were bringing them today. How did she know?
Anne, you could go to bed at midnight, draw the curtains, and lock the door, sneeze, and the next day Rachel would be on your doorstep asking how your cold was.
Give it to me. She's getting on me.
They're, settling in. There.
Can I have one of them?
Certainly you may. You ought to say thank you.
Thank you. Why? Why?
Because it's polite and people like to hear you say it.
They do?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Never mind, Davy.
But I want to know. Hey, that's mine!
Well, you started it! Oh, Davy, Dora, right on the edge of the cliff with the wind and the rain lashing against them.
Time for bed.
I ain't going to bed for ages yet.
Oh, yes, you are. We're all going. It's been a long day. I'm putting you in the west gable.
All by himself?
Uh-huh. And you're in with me. You won't mind that, will you, Davy?
Davy's brave. I cried like anything when our mother died. But Davy didn't.
Didn't you, Davy?
Boys don't cry. Anyway, she was glad to die. She was awful fed up of being sick. She told me.
Come on, Davy. Dora.
Oh, Matthew. I hope we've done the right thing. Still, somebody's got to love him. I just wish I could see where to start. Davy, I came in because I thought I heard you.
Well, you never.
No, I guess I made a mistake then. Is there anything I can do? Would you rather I went away? All right. Good night, Davy.
Good night.
Blast that bird.
If you do that every time I come, he'll hate the sight of me.
Oh, but it's his language. It's terrible.
Well, I don't suppose he learned it on his own.
Oh, my brother gave him to me. He was a sailor.
Aha!
I ain't seen you for a week.
Oh, I've been terribly busy. Tomorrow is the first day of the term. Mr. Harrison, do you believe in corporal punishment?
School kids, you mean? Labyrinth?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Nobody seems to agree with me.
What else you gonna do if you don't behave?
I shall govern by affection. I want the school to be a happy place.
You ain't looking none too happy about it.
Well, because can I trust myself? I have this terrible affliction, you see. From time to time, I am liable to lose my temper.
Oh, that's bad.
Well, if I ever did it in school, my whole career would be over.
Don't see that.
I read once that if you ever betray the principles you believe in, it's like brushing the bloom from a butterfly's wing and it may never fly again. Oh, if I did something like that, I just know I wouldn't want to go on living with myself.
Oh, Miss Anne, you've got a long way to go.
Oh, by the way, you said once that the Village Improvement Society would have your support?
Yeah.
Well, everyone on my list has given very generously, except you and Mr. Lewis.
Moral support, that's what I meant. Yeah. I didn't mean the kind of support to reach down as far as my pocket.
Mr. Harris.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. You gotta take me as you find me.
Yes. Well, at least you don't vacillate. Now I must go. I got a lot to do.
You must forget this. A lovely bit of yeast cake you bought last Friday.
Huh?
I suppose with being so busy and all, you didn't think of bringing anything today.
As a matter of fact, I did think of baking some currant buns just this morning.
Ah, real old-fashioned currant buns with spice in it.
Mr. Harrison, what would you say if I said it was the kind of thought that wouldn't reach as far as the oven?
Well, what's in there, then? I see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. There are buns here. I just wanted you to hear what it sounds like when people say that kind of thing to you. Thank you so much. That's everyone on my list now.
Except for old Jed Lewis, you let him off scot-free, didn't you?
Oh, no, not really. He bet me $5 that I wouldn't get a red cent out of you. Bye.
$5? Old Jed.
Children, I want you, in the term that lies before us, to look upon the forthcoming term as...
Not bad. Davy, do up your bootlace.
What?
And time you were off.
What's the matter with Anne? She's scared. Go on, she's not.
Oh!
It's all right, Anne. We're going to be very good.
Anyway, we'll try. Well, that's fine. Are we all ready? We don't want to be late on our first morning.
And
Huh? Books?
books.
Oh, fancy me forgetting a little thing like that. Oh, Marilla. What if...
Fiddlesticks, Anne. There have been hundreds of girls without half your brains have done it.
That's true. All the same, Marilla. Keep wishing. Oh. Barbara Shaw.
Here.
And Clifford Wright.
Here.
Well, now I think I know who's who.
You didn't call out my name.
Oh, you are?
Anthony Pye.
Yes. Well, they must have forgotten to put it down, Anthony. Still, it's down now, Anthony. Now, before we begin, let me say this. Children, I want you to... I want you all to... That is, I want you all to take out your testaments and turn to Luke chapter 3.
Please, miss, I haven't got one.
Oh, well, just for today, you can share with the boy next to you. Goodness.
You behave or I'll wallop.
Everyone, please, your books.
Cut that out, Mitch. Hear me?
Can you find it, Anthony? It's page 74.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, now, let's see. Who's going to begin reading? Yes, the boy behind Dora. What is your name, please?
Paul Irving, miss.
Oh, this is your first term here, isn't it?
Yes, miss.
He's a Yank.
Yes. You're from the United States.
Yes, miss.
Yankee land.
Yes, well, let's see how well you can read. Just start at the first verse and go on until I tell you to stop.
Now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip tetrarch of Iturea and the region of Trachonitis, and Lysanias the tetrarch of Abilene, Annas and Caiaphas, and
Not too far away now. Dora, remember, I don't want any berry juice on that apron. Another cup?
Oh, yes, please, Marilla.
How'd it go?
I'm so tired. That's what I don't understand.
I suppose you tried to teach them everything in just one day.
I'm wondering if I taught anybody anything.
But nothing went wrong like you were afraid of.
No. They did what I told them, more or less. And I didn't lose my temper or betray my principles.
There. All that worry for nothing.
I wonder if I'm going to like it, though. Wouldn't it be awful to go on doing something for 40 years that you didn't like? There's one new boy, though, Paul. Now, I think he's going to be really good. Wouldn't it be strange, Marilla, if he turned out to be a genius? And I was the only one to realize his potential. And then, maybe in years to come, when he was a famous judge or a prime minister, he'd come back to Avonlea, and standing on the platform, he'd hand me a bouquet and say, Miss Shirley, if it hadn't been for you...
You're gonna be all right, Anne.
Right, that's dark red for the shingle. We're all agreed? And green for the paint by 4 votes to 2.
Well, 2 greens here.
It's this one, number 17 on the color chart. Make a note of it, Ann. Now, who do we get to do the job?
Joshua Pye.
Oh, not them again. Why, those pies are so common and cliquey, and they always try to run everything.
It's gotta be. None of the pies would give a cent unless the job went to Joshua. So I told Gertie to say it would.
Well, you had no right to, did he, Gilbert?
It would have been better to consult the committee, Charlie.
Look, there are 4 families of pies, and they gave $12 between them. You want to give back the $12? Well?
Charlie proposes Joshua Pye. Anyone second that?
I do.
Thank you, Anne.
Why? Well, they say he's a good workman, and if we're improving the village, then we ought to use local craftsmen.
That's right.
Well, anyway, who else is there?
Exactly. That's another good point.
Joshua Pye proposed and seconded. Any other nominations? Oh, well, that settles it then. If there's no other business, I declare the meeting closed.
All the same, you were perfectly right. He ought to have consulted you first.
Yeah. It's been crazy to bring someone in from miles away when there's a man on the spot who can do it.
Yes. Good night, you two.
Oh, good night.
Good night. Good night.
They're beginning to make a habit of that, aren't they?
Anne, don't go just yet. I want to talk to you.
Are you coming?
All right. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
What about?
You seem to be coming out very strong for Charlie Sloane tonight. I just wondered why.
Not because of Charlie. Because of the pies.
Oh. I didn't realize you were so friendly with them.
I'm not. But I'm gonna be if it kills me.
Well, what brought this on?
Anthony Pye. He just sits in my class. He does no work. Not that I mind that so much. It's the way he looks.
I know. Dumb insolence. How are you dealing with it?
Actually, my method is very simple. I intend to make him like me.
That's your aim, Anne, not your method.
My aim is that I've got to try and like him. That's why I voted for his Uncle Joshua. Oh, I know people like Ruby Gillis are against them. What was it she called them? Common and cliquey. Huh. Well, I think it's very vulgar and superficial to go around branding people as common and cliquey.
Oh, don't you think it rather vulgar and superficial to go around branding people as vulgar and superficial?
But Gilbert Blythe, just whose side are you on?
Teacher's pet, teacher's pet.
Daddy, don't! Stop it!
Oh!
Never mind, Davy. Does it hurt?
Hey! Stupid kids.
I can't imagine what's keeping them, Mrs. Lynde, but Davy will apologize as soon as he comes in. I had a long talk with him last night and told him that he must.
Well, I hope you haven't coached him, that's all.
What do you mean?
I remember the time you apologized to me like it was yesterday. And if Davy's going in for that scale of speech, you'd better wait till tomorrow. I have to be home in an hour.
Oh, there's the gate. That must be it.
Now, don't prompt a man. See if he'll do it of his own accord.
That woman's here. You'd better do it now.
Mrs. Lynde?
Yes, Davy.
Anne said bossy people don't like other people saying they're bossy. So I'm sorry I said you was bossy. And there's another thing I may as well say sorry about now before somebody tells me to.
What's that, Davy?
Sorry I've been bleeding all over your dress.
Ah, where? Now, what have you been up to?
His nose is bleeding, Aunt Marilla.
Who did it, Davy?
Nobody. Anyway, I hit him first.
You shouldn't go hitting people. You're a very wicked little boy. Look at this, Marilla. It doesn't even have a handkerchief.
Oh, hush up, Rachel. Go soak it in cold water. Goodness knows there's nothing to it.
Oh.
Now, come here. Who'd you hit and what did you hit him for? Is there no end to it? Took me nigh on 3 years learning how to bring up a girl. Now it looks like it's starting all over again.
He hit Tony Pye, Aunt Marilla, because Tony Pye said lady teachers can't teach for nuts. And we said, yes, you could, Anne.
Will I put out the light?
Yes.
You are gonna have such a black eye tomorrow.
I know.
What's that?
Cliffy Wright gave me 2 toffees and I saved you one. It's all right. It's still in paper.
Well, thank you, Davy. God bless.
Good night.
Good night. Any more? Any more? I'm waiting.
No.
Now, I have told you all before that if you want to buy cookies from Mrs. Hiram's, then that is your own business. But I will not have munching in class, and I will not have foodstuff stored in the desk. It's unhygienic and it attracts mice. Barbara?
Yes?
Put them in the fire.
Oh, no.
It's time you all learned that I mean what I say. Put them in the fire, Barbara. Now, perhaps we can get along with our geography. Paul.
Yes, miss?
Please tell me what you learned yesterday about Holland.
Holland is a very flat country. Large areas are below sea level, and water is held back by barriers called dikes.
Just a minute, please. Cliffy, you are half an hour late. Why?
Please, miss. I fell in the pig pen, and I had to wait for my ma to my mother trousers.
All right. Now, who else can tell us something about Holland? No, Paul. Somebody else. Dora. What do they grow there? Think of a flower.
Windmill?
Cliffy Wright, whatever it is you just passed to Barbara, bring it out here. All right. Put it in the fire.
Oh, please, miss, no.
You know the rules. Put it in the fire.
They're not mine, miss.
I don't care whose they are, Cliffy. Put them in the fire now.
No, don't!
Are you telling him to disobey me?
Yes, but no. I mean, he bought them for me for a birthday.
Barbara, I am not listening to any excuses. Sit down. Are you going to do as I told you, or are you not?
Miss...
No buts, Cliffy. Put them in the fire. mice in my desk.
Perhaps they came after the cookies like you said.
Did you do it, Anthony?
Yeah.
Come out here. I said come out here.